You're on a measly 6 right now. Comparatively weak for the moment. Small, little incremental approaches here. Looking at the utility, 12 smokes for APG.
I mean, again, it's just a testament to the strength of these players. The fact that Phalac's playing and he's not feeling his best either, and still at this level is fairly incredible. And it's not like IC's had the most incredible path into this game either. They have just been brutalizing other players within this lobby. It's something we need to deal with, the players from 9Z. You do have APGs also watching these angles, so if they find anything, again, for IC it's a question of vehicles and how they can make that wrap, because I think at this point in time, like, this actually is not a bad wrap to make for yourself. You've got to hope that APG misses his shots, and I think IC realizes that a lobby like this is very unlikely.
You hope that they realise it here. The zone next will close completely central blank, and it really doesn't favour anyone. I mean, the only team on an outside position at the moment are in a circle, so maybe that will help them out. APG, I mean, they need to get out there as well, but they do have vehicles potentially stowed away in and amongst those buildings that they can hop into. The nades there start to fly. Going along, not quite on target.
IC said on creators. I think that's all they can do. I think this is a smart play, especially here on Rondo, the destructible terrain. That's what they're going to go for. Okay.
At the moment, though, that smoke train, those huge number of smokes, they have 10 smokes just been invested by APG to be able to stretch out wide, move that vehicle into one of those craters. The first knock onto Noki is good, but it's now 9Z who are eating the majority of lead right now as they crawl on forward. They don't have anywhere to go. They are probably in the worst position. A downhill approach out the back of the building. To stop time, Noki is there, but you can't stand up. You just can't go for that res. And another nade over the top from APG. They have got 3 more remaining. One's already in the sky.
There's Phalak and T24 now. Phalak's going to make the big crawl. T24 holds his angle. Now into a 2v2 here for APG versus IC.
Last name loose for top. I think that's the last one that's in the pocket potentially. Or maybe they got one more. No, that is it. But it connects, and that's huge. It stops them from getting any more. But Phalak with an answer. He's standing tall, and now top behind a tree trunk. Phalak has the inside track here on the circle. Needs to stay strong for his team now more than ever. Top stands up, and the challenge is good. It is Phalak to be able to fell the final beast in that way. APG will not get it. It is in a circle. The pride of Pakistan standing strong.
Craters on the ground, and what a meteoric entrance from IC during this game. They had very limited options, but worked with what they had. The nades out front to get the craters to hold on for just a little while longer. Those nades were insane, and the fact that Phalak's to finish it off there, I mean, imagine what this guy is like on his good days.
Absolutely insane. Like it just being what a close down on the day. So close down the game, rather. A lot of flashy plays throughout the majority of that match as well. Like Papa Supermassive doing big stuff.
Yeah, Papa Supermassive get themselves a bunch of evening points. APG actually towards the top 3, which is quite nice to see in second place. Hopefully a little more of that, please. But in the meantime, I've got to hear what the guys on the desk had to say about that game.
And Inner Circle win the first match of Group Green, and they did it in style, Max. Hey, if Phalak wasn't feeling too good going in today, I bet you he's feeling real good right now. That name onto Zol and then wins the 1v1. I mean, what more could you ask for?
No illness can take down Fallow. No team can take down Fallow. He is the demon here from Pakistan. He dominates on the battlegrounds, and he takes home the Rondo win as a solo at the end. So many eliminations, the nades were on point, the transitions were on point. And in True, we have to say this is also off the back of winning the hot drop in Neox Factory versus Falcons. What is going on? This is the best start ever.
It's crazy.
I think you were muted then, Intro.
Right.
You say that again. Just say how excited you are. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I love them. Yay! I don't know if you can hear it.
Thank you.
The Max Man impression, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I think everybody's busting out a Max Man impression right now because they are so excited that you did not pick this team. Because they're doing so good, Max.
You know what? I'm never going to pick Inner Circle ever again. They ever start like this, a game like this, beautiful. But the thing is, we're talking about Fallow. Look at the stats across the board. T24, 4 eliminations, almost 1,000 damage. IQ, the IGL of the team, gets 5 wins, almost 600 damage done. And look at especially how much damage they took right in True. Everyone took a beating, but they just kept coming back stronger and stronger and stronger. And especially those rotations on the eastern side, sweeping all of those eastern teams were a thing of absolute beauty this match. Loved it from start to finish.
It was so nice. And what I love as well is how methodical it was. They didn't rush around, go crazy, just get all the third parties. They really took their time with it. They paced themselves, they read the lobby, they understood who was where, what was going on, and they were really able to get the perfect timing based off that. So love how they've come in here. They're looking very relaxed. They look like, they know what they're doing. They're not really thinking they're, the newcomers anymore. They've been here and they've been doing so well all season. And now it's like, yeah, we're here, we're ready to own the lobby, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh, unbelievable start. Another team that had a great, actually, a super massive start, Max Man, right? Was Papara. Are you kidding me? Tons of eliminations here off the rip.
I'd even say a Papara super massive start right here coming out from Papara super massive Blaze. I mean, really good early game strategy, which is, in Rondo you have these big stone pillars that you can go for. You can actually climb them with a buggy. They sent a scout up there and they had perfect oversight on everything and anything happening in the mid to later stages of these circles, which then you can see here, for example, this fight between Ultra Ego and Team Secret in the replays. They spotted that fight instantly. Hot Juice like, well, that's an easy, not only entry point in the circle, it's also 3 points. And they did take a bit of time to find Alba in that smoke for sure, but eventually they do find what? All the Turkish teams are dominating outside of Regnum, which is a bit weird.
Oh, man, that was absolutely crazy. Matter of fact, I think Alva from Alter Ego is going to need some therapy after that one. He was just screaming in that smoke for just trying to survive, but he wasn't able to. But look at this score. Wow. I mean, Inner Circle, 28 points off the rip here, Neptura.
Oh, my goodness me. I mean, I think that's definitely so far the biggest opening game of any day so far that we've had by far. 28 points is insane, and we know Rondo is the map where you can put up those crazy numbers, right? But 18 eliminations even for Rondo is pretty huge, and you're looking at the gap. That's a 10-point gap between in place, right? 9Z only 18 points. That's still an epic game, but just totally eclipsed by Inner Circle here. And then of course we're gonna get four teams without any points whatsoever because I see they were just taking all of them.
Insert a 1 point sound cue right now. But actually, we were talking about Papara Superman. Well, are we surprised?
Yeah. Are we surprised?
Wait, guys, impression of like the biggest surprise, like just fake is like, oh, no way! No way.
What?
Had no idea.
Way. What?
No,
Yeah.
it does make sense. But we were talking about Papara Supermassive Blaze. I also do want to highlight 9Z Globan. They also got, what was it, 13 eliminations this game. Very similar playstyle to Papara Supermassive Blade, but instead of sweeping the north. They were sweeping the northwest, using that high ground to their full potential to make sure they can clear that space and get a ton of eliminations in the preset. And get a ton of eliminations in the preset. And get a ton of eliminations in the preset.
Vai quicando, vai jogando, não perde a razão, no batidão, no batidão. Vai jogando, não perde a razão, no batidão, no batidão.
But top, that's a ton of damage. And those nades in particular, Niptro, we saw onto Inner Circle. That could have almost won them the game, but unfortunately, if you saw, Falok was able to tank.
Dude, I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, literally. I mean, one thing we were talking about in the chat was just like, now this is a global championship star right here. I mean, it was just a wreck from the beginning. Teams were just going crazy. As a matter of fact, we saw some cool tech, right? We saw Osul. He was actually tanking that blue zone for a while. I bet you a lot of you guys were wondering why. That's because he had that backpack on, Max, right? That worked out good for him.
Yeah, I had that light bulb moment. I was like, wait, he's gonna die. He was like, oh no, he's got the backpack that allows him to tank the blue zone. So actually, yeah, if you use that to your advantage, you can kind of trick some enemies and like, why he's not leaving the blue zone. Used in this game really efficiently by none other than Orangutan.
Able to use.
Because we kind of said a lot of great things about them, which is really good to do on a Rondo in particular. APG here, Niptura, in the center, pretty much phase 2, phase 3, everyone fighting, shooting over APG, and they're just big chilling the entire time and easily getting into the late game, right?
Right? Yeah, that was such a nice, I think, one of the best games that could have happened to them, right? After such a disastrous gauntlet stage. And I think it's safe to say that because everybody knows it's true. Coming into group stage, into group green, and you're going, it's going to be tough for them. But for them to be able to have such a good game, to rack up quite a few eliminations, they were able to actually have that really good start to the group stage and go, oh, okay, actually, we're doing okay. This is fine. You know, it's not tough from the beginning. They've got something now to work on. They've got a foundation built that they can just start climbing from there because, yeah, teamwork was really nice for them. You know, Doc with his nade, we finally saw a Doc nade come through. We were really missing that from him, and so it's really nice to see that maybe now we have just a better springboard for them.
I do have a question now looking at APG. GS team, then this group, unfortunately for them, are we going to have a similar clash happening in military base? Is that going to keep going down? Because that was definitely hurtful. Jafar in particular was just a pain, a thorn in the side of this team. So are they going to commit to it once more, or are maybe GS team going to be looking for another option and finally give APG a little bit more breathing space?
I hope they give them breathing space. This is not the time to mess about, guys. You know, Gauntlet, no one was getting eliminated, right? But the stakes are just so much more now in the group stage. You might go home completely, and even if you don't, there's very few chance here you're actually going to go to top 3. So you've got to play your best game here.
Yep, top 3 is what's going to get you straight to the grand finals. Anything less is going to be a hard time. Let's go ahead and take it on to our first Aaron Gale match to John Allen and Blake.
It is time for Erangel. We had a crazy close down from Falak in those final moments there for Inner Circle, and a lot of points earned for the teams now at the top of the tables, or at least 4 now, because there are plenty more matches left to play. 18 matches total in Group Green, and we will be in and on to the second of them right now.
Rondo is always this huge injection of points right at the start of the day. I mean, getting almost 30 points straight away is a massive deal, especially on your first match. Gives you a huge buffer to work with. And with the goal being top 3, getting those 30 points almost immediately is such a massive benefit for you going forward. So I think for Inner Circle, this will be a very pleasing result for them. We did get to see some other teams performing extremely well, quite like OG's position on the south side. Their transition didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to, unfortunately for them. Wolves also going down fairly early there, John, which was a little bit unideal. GS heading over towards Savannah. You got APG actually starting in Kameshki right now. And Team Secret stopping over towards Box Compound. D Plus was a little bit disappointing in the last game. I think it's pretty much the same roster, but weren't able to hold out walls as comfortably as possible. Alter Ego currently playing off against Papra Supermassive. We're just waiting. It'll be here soon. Don't worry. APG getting 15 points. Pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed.
The same as they were before, but it is plenty dangerous. Rosemary, look for the spray downs. We'll be able to find it, Snape, in the vehicle over the top, and they will be able to crash on in.
And for Alter Ego, it was a very game for them last time around. I think that overall what they ran into was not the famous front flip, but was instead just a case of running out of gas. And they got third party so many times. There were quite a few teams over on that north side. The amount of teams who were able to come down was just significant.
Yes, it's not always easy. It's not always easy. APG right now, fresh off a second place. We caught up with them on the stage.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. This time I'm joined by APG Doc. Doc, great start here to Group Green. What was the major change that you guys made from the Gauntlet to Group Green?
За Дуг өнөөдрийн тоглолтод үнэхээр амжилттай эхэлж байна. Танай багийн хувьд Gauntlet stage-ээс Group Green рүү ямар хотоо өөрчлөлт гаргаж авч ирвэ?
Манай Gauntlet дээр гаргасан алдаануудаа хоорондоо сайн ярилцаад алдаануудаа засаад ингэж орж ирсэн. Алдаануудаа ер нь сайн зассан.
For our team, from the Gauntlet stage, we discussed about the mistakes that happened during that time, and we tried to focus on how to fix that, and that was the change at all.
Hopefully we'll see less drops. One thing we did see in this last match, you guys were given the circle. You were able to take advantage, but I need to go into circle 6 because you guys were doing a 3-1 split and the docketing happening. Sir, you were far away from your squad. Going into circle 7, what made you not want to return back to your squad?
За, саяны тоглолтын дээр танай багийн хувьд 6 дугаар тойрог дээр 3-1 гэсэн салалттай байсан бол 7 дугаар тойрог дээр танай баг руу очиход яагаад багтаага буцаж нийлээгүйгээ?
Ер нь хэрэгтэй байрал гэж үзсэн. Одоо 3 нэрээ харуулж байгаа хангалттай алчих байх гэж бодсон. Одоо ер нь алдаа болчлоо. Одоо чекэнд чадаагүй. Тийм л.
From my perspective, I thought it was the advantageous point in that circle, and that's what made me to not want to go back. And I wanted to have my 3-player Overwatch over, and I thought we could come over from that, but it was my mistake from that end.
Well, regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening. Hopefully less of the docketing happening. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that little insight there into APG. We are hopefully going to see them do a little bit more over the course of this Group Green that we saw from them in the Gauntlet stages. They do need to repair what's going on because it's it wasn't great over in the Gauntlet. Hopefully they can keep this. Circle's laying into the lobby right now, heading all the way out to the east side. Lipovka Circle, very rare. We'll see who's going to be able to crunch in over that mansion area. A lot of buildings is surrounded by open ground in this zone. And then up to Lipovka, that hill that sits to the west of it. Could potentially be a little bit of respite. Wolves, they're kind of at the back of the queue right now. Embroiled with OG and absolutely no one else who we definitely won't talk about.
Absolutely. And those who shall not be named are currently in front of the Wolves. So very similar rivalry to previous Erangel there. But to be honest, like I think APG does look like a very different beast this time around. and I'm very pleased by it. And again, I think Doc's taken it upon himself. Oof, it's rough. Doc has definitely taken it upon himself to be more of the front man for the squad, but still playing in tune with the rest of the band here, which is really cool. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, and they're succeeding because of it.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary for them to be able to do that. Over to Lipovka. Okay. A big scout out coming through from AKOP. This is a big split from the rest of the roster right now. They've already lost, I say the rest of the roster. There is only one other player, WizGod, as OG did get torn apart a little bit. They tried to crash over the hill into Lipovka. The Falcons now join them. Obviously, we know they lost a player earlier on. But the teams have managed to consolidate themselves to the east side. It has been a bit of a mad dash. Except for Go. I think they're still on a bit of a wide rotate blank.
Well, he's on a bit of a wide rotate, yeah. For Alter Ego, they have one of the most insane positions on the map right now. I really love this little patch of high ground that they play. In the past, it's brought a lot of separate teams big victories, and I think that a team that starts in Lipovka, you can see how much this position is favored because the circle is centered on Lipovka. You don't want to play there. That's like the survival area of the map. It is also a case where this is a worrying amount of water in the circle right now. It's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's it is maybe time for the armbands for one or two players, you'd imagine. Ooh, a bit of trouble on the north side for Inner Circle as they're trying to move in on the north, but they're fairly isolated. They should be okay. You can see the next circle will be popping soon. As 9Z yet to fully transition away from Yasnaya. They will have to, though. And we're going all the way up north, another hard shift, and another circle with a lot of water. Nobody's in the middle of this one, Blank. Don't worry.
Oh, who's that? There's just like an invisible squad in the middle.
There's just no team there.
Actually, it's a small ditch that they're playing in. It's not like incredibly insane. I will say that APG today has been like somewhat lucky on some of the circles that come towards them, but it hasn't been like all the circles are going APG's way. But they have had a few of them. But the thing is that they are translating every single time on those circles, where they're currently at 48 points. Now, if they're able to get another big game here, like, goodness me, you're like stamping a ticket almost at this point in time with 48 points. Duke's highlighted it perfectly. It's a 16-point average, which is unheard of.
It is pretty crazy, but it is a small sample size, and we've seen back-to-back chicken dinners and things like that happen before. And it is always in these 3-day sets about transitioning to the next days. They've had a great success in today's games, but we've seen bigger than 48. And granted, they still do have half the day to play, but it's not something you can rely on. It's not enough just yet. Nades exchange now on the cliffs between Falcons playing as 3 and OG playing as 2. Falcons with Ralph all the way as a backstop. That's a big nade. Blast the card of the sky, and AKOP with it. WizGod now the last player to stand. And that's flushed up. That's stolen away, that point. That's nasty. As he's going to send on over. Oh, and another shot down over towards OG. They go down 16th place. No elims.
Yeah, nice with APG. Picked up both of them. Falcon's pretty frustrated about that. Had to expend a load of utilities to make that one happen. And yet get both elims stolen. So up to 50 points now. I think the record was like 83, 82 from Kara on day 2 of Gauntlet.
It might have been that. I was thinking about Thunder Talk day 1 as well, which could have been a potential.
I think Kara's is higher, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But still, APG's on track right now to beat that. Now,
well, if they can keep up 16 points a game, sure.
The funny thing is, if they continue on this trajectory, they actually hit 100 points in one day. Like, unironically as well.
That would be insane. 16 points a match times 6? Really? I don't think that's. I mean, that's just shy.
They're on 50 points right now. Oh
yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, that's true. But some of the points have come from this game. 2 of them. So technically, they are just shy in terms of the average points per game.
Don't
We'll see what more they can do here.
Okay, this is circle.
They're in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that's a big circle though.
I guess it's not too bad. Yeah, I guess it's not too much circle look because you are in the center anyway. So this is technically the circle you're hoping for. So this is a weird one where it's like, did they just play this correctly, or I would say it's just played it correctly, because I think circle look would be if they shifted over towards Icy's compound on the northwest side. For this, it's just like, well, they have played the circle here.
Loops trying to send on in. Maybe they're playing the circle here as well as they head on up to the APG camp. Ratto Boy first to go down on the fight. Reefus able to flee around the side, fling himself a little bit further. Top chasing down those knocks, chasing down maybe an Elim point more. As they spot Loops descending the hill. Rafinha on foot, over his Yol, not a chance. Reefus on guard. And he steps up well. And APG, they claim their hilltop. They solidify it a bit further. Nobody's going to dare to step up there anytime soon, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a really, really strong spot, but you do need to be competent to play that position. Because as we saw there, when teams come to fight you, it is just bare knuckle fighting, essentially, where there's not too much cover. You're just straight in there. In the meantime, Alter Ego coming up against Tiamba, and that's more like the Bond I know.
He's looking for more, looking for those flashes, looking for those reses, looking to try and rely on his teammate as well as, unfortunately, they have lost one. There is 2 or 3 other teams around here who will hear this all unfold, and Gen G are going to strike out first with the nades. Reject, are they going to try and get involved, or are they going to try and get ahead of this one, try and cut around the outside? But the first nade lands. Tiamba doing a lot of damage, getting those flushes as Alter Ego are eliminated, but now Tiamba need to try and stay alive. They're only as 3. They don't have full force, but they are getting healed up slowly. They can move forwards now, but they do need to find an opening. Reiji, there he goes. Reject did not want to get ahead. They wanted to add a point to their tally, and it looks like they're going to get stuck in here with Reiji crashing in.
It's not going well for Reject. But KZZ being down, Bond needs to hit a good Molotov down the stairs here. We'll try and bounce it off the side, doesn't get too much burnt out of the way. So they do have a spy in the mix.
तेरा जल गया?
No.
हो गया connect.
की मतलब है that? What do you mean? यार साहब मुंबई कसम से मैं आज देख रहा था मैं इतने स्कूल से सारी भैंस की आँख नहीं चलता बना नाट नहीं चलता यहाँ तेरा चल गया तेरा चल गया जी
चल गया तेरा चढ़ा कनेक्ट हो गया
कनेक्ट तो हो गया था मेरा
कितने होया सा चल जाता फिर सारा 2 नंबर मंगा रखा
फुद्दी का 2 नंबर मंगा रखा था
For the international format, already 4 players down on 3 minutes into the...
Good for them.
I think that...
Complete, really, with some...
Absolutely. Those who shall not be named are currently in front of the Wolves. So very similar rivalry to previous Erangel there. But to be honest, like I think APG does look like a very different beast this time around. And I'm very pleased by it. And again, I think Doc's taking it upon himself. It's rough. Doc is definitely taking it upon himself to be more of the front man for the squad. But still playing in tune with the rest of the band here, which is really cool. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. And they're succeeding because of it.
Yeah, it's necessary. it's necessary for them to be able to do that. Over in Lipovka, okay, a big scout out coming through from AKOP. There's a big split from the rest of the roster right now. And they've already lost, I say the rest of the roster, there is only one other player, WizGod, as OG did get torn apart a little bit. They tried to crash over the hill into Lipovka. The Falcons now join them. So we know they lost a player earlier on. But the teams have managed to consolidate themselves to the east side. It has been a bit of a mad dash. Except for Go. I think they're still on a bit of a wide rotate back.
Well, he's on a wide rotate, yeah. For Alter Ego, they have one of the most insane positions on the map right now. I really love this little patch of high ground that they play. In the past, it's brought a lot of separate teams big victories, and I think that the team that starts in the Lipovka, you can see how much this position is favoured because the circle is centred on Lipovka. You don't want to play there. That's like the survival area of the map. It is also a case where this is a worrying amount of water in the circle right now. It's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's it is maybe time for the armbands for one or two players, you'd imagine. Ooh, a bit of trouble on the north side for Inner Circle. They're trying to move in on the north, but they're fairly isolated. They should be okay. You can see the next circle will be popping soon. That's 9Z. Yet to fully transition away from Yasnaya, they will have to though. And we're going all the way up north, another hard shift, and another circle with a lot of water. Nobody's in the middle of this one, Black. Don't worry.
Who's that? This is like an invisible squad in the middle.
There's no team there.
Actually, it's a small ditch that they're playing in. It's not like incredibly insane. I will say that APG today has been like somewhat lucky on some of the circles that come towards them, but it hasn't been like all the circles are going APG's way. But they have had a few of them. But the thing is that they are translating every single time on those circles, where they're currently at 48 points. Now, if they were to get another big game here, like, goodness me, you're like stamping a ticket almost at this point in time with 48 points. Duke's highlighted it perfectly. It's a 16-point average, which is unheard of.
It is pretty crazy, but it is a small sample size, and we've seen back-to-back chicken dinners and things like that happen before. And it is always in these 3-day sets about transitioning to the next day. They've had a great success in today's games, but we've seen bigger than 48. And granted, they still do have half the day to play, but it's not something you can rely on. It's not enough just yet. Nades exchange now on the cliffs between Falcons playing as 3 and OG playing as 2. Falcons with Ralph all the way in the back. That's a big nade. Blast the card of the sky and AKOP with it. WizGod now the last player to stand. And that's flushed up. That's stolen away that point. That's nasty. This is going to send on over. Oh, and another shot down over towards OG. They go down 16th place. No events.
Yeah, nice APG. Picked up both of them. Falcons pretty frustrated about that. Had to expend a load of utilities to make that one happen. And yet get both even themselves up to 50 points now. I think the record was like 83, 82 from Kara on day 2 of Gauntlet.
It might have been that. I was thinking about Thunder Talk on day 1 as well. Should have been that.
I think Kara's is higher. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But still, APG's on track right now to beat that. Now,
well, I think he's got 16 points a game, sure.
The funny thing is, if they continue on this trajectory, they actually hit 100 points in one day. Like, ironically as well.
That would be insane. 16 points a match times 6? Really? I don't think that's just shy.
Or on 50 points right now.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, that's true. But some of the points have come from this game, 2 of them. So technically they are just shy in terms of the average points per game.
Oh, you technically. This is circle. They're in the middle of the circle.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, that's it. Settle up.
I guess it's not too bad. Yeah, I guess it's not too much circle because you are in the center anyway. So this is technically the circle you're hoping for. So this is a weird one where it's like did they just play this correctly, or I would say it's just played it correctly, because I think circle look would be if they shifted over towards Icy's compound on the northwest side. For this, it's just like, well, they have played the circle here.
Luke's trying to send on in. Maybe they're playing the circle here as well as they head on up. The APG camp, Raptor Boy first. Go down on the fight. Reapers able to flee around the side, fling himself a little bit further. Top chasing down those knocks, chasing down maybe an even point more. To swap Luke descending the hill. Rafinha on foot. Over his goal, not a chance. Reapers on guard. Then he steps up well. APG, they claim their hilltop. They solidify it a bit further. Nobody's going to dare to step up there anytime soon, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a really, really strong spot, but you do need to be competent to play that position. Because as we saw there, when teams come to fight you, it is just bare knuckle fighting, essentially, where there's not too much cover, you're just straight in there. In the meantime, all three go up against the Amber, and that's more like the Bond I know.
Looking for more, looking for those flashes, looking for those reses, looking to try and rely on his teammate as well as, unfortunately, they have lost.
Yeah, but Apollo's already, especially the figuring out of like what is the next maneuver, what split do we need to take towards the end game. That's where they're really going to have to readjust a lot of their game plans going in towards the future. And I think that is like the day two mentality they need to have, is like, right, well, early to mid game is fine. What we need to solve is late game.
That is really where the majority of points are earned as well, right? It's all well and good getting up to 20 minutes each match, but not getting too much further than that. That's real massive swathe of points that you're losing out on. D+ trying to slice through the Gen G hold. He goes down first. Ami holding on the inside. Finally, they get that knock for D+, but it's maybe too little too late because Nolbu's down as well. You've got the last player from GOAT who's overlooking this potentially to wait to see who filters on out. Actually, Gen G are down to 2. D+ down to 2 as well. Oaksal doing a lot of work here, it has to be said, for D+, and Falcons chime into the fight for good measure.
Yeah, help out D+ here. I mean, for Oaksal there, I was kind of wondering where he was. Good shot from Papa Supermassive. Good shot on Papa Supermassive, sorry, from APG. Wolves will finish off at least one player from Reject there. They do take a knock in the process. Who's going to pick him back up again? Backed on with the swing out, the scout. This is, again, this is what I'd like to see from the Wolves right now. You know, they are now thinking about what's the next step. What do we need to do now to secure the next position? The back on immediately going for that scout there. That's giving them a little bit of information that there's a team looking to rotate ahead of them.
Information game, very important in these circles now. I mean, first of all, get all this information, but take these shots as well. That little rock, say little, a very large cliff. Well, they sat at the top right now, gets some great oversight, but it does expose them. And that's exactly what Reapers finds over from APG. It does help Falcons down to the west and a little bit to the south. But APG do still have oversight. In the meantime, a little bit of scrap between Inner Circle, Loops as well joining, as well as 9Z.
I mean, GS might even try and get on this. There's a lot of different teams all in one building. IQ will go down, but T24 wreaking havoc on the bottom floor at the moment. With Coligo left remaining, we know how much of a terror Coligo can be from upstairs, looking to stamp his feet.
Also got a Falak go down in the other building there for the team on the hop-in. The heal went through, and that's T24 down. So Inner Circle fully flushed. GS not getting involved in this fight at all. They are now mounting up into a vehicle, but they can't make a decision. Well, they certainly haven't yet, as the nade lands underneath Coligo, and it's actually Loops to be able to be the team to survive out the other end of it. But nobody's done very well off of that blank, off that fight. No one really got too many points, and they've all gone down before the placements even kick in.
You know, despite Falcons having a pretty bad start to this game and losing one player, I think they've done a great job playing on this cliffside. They have... Ooh, Dark
said, my bad, and then he said, nah, I'm a bad man, dude. I mean, these guys are going crazy here, back to back chicken dinners for Alpha Gaming. I mean, we heard it there from John and Blake. Like, where has this team been? Right? Where were they during the gauntlet? I mean, this is crazy, Max.
Yeah, I mean, they were going gear second at the start today, and now they're going gear fifth. They're going the entire way here, Hopjuice.
Yes.
Really happy with APG. And the way they held this central position, Niptera, they don't even have a compound, and yet it felt like a compound because their zoning was so strong in this game that no team could even try and wrestle that position away. It was just so one-sided in favor of APG from start to finish of this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, so nice to see from them. And, you know, Loops did try to breach it. They did have sort of a half-hearted attempt there, and the way that APG just shut it down, just sent a message from the rest of the teams that, hey, actually, you really don't want to push here. We have this covered, locked down, you're not going to come in. And teams really respected that, so really nice to see from APG.
But what did you think about that rotation? I know we're going to see that graphic here in a little bit, but that was a crazy one, Max.
By the way, when I said 99% chance of happening, I didn't mean the circle. I mean like APG wins back to back.
That's what it was.
That's what I meant.
Makes sense.
No, it's like, I'm really happy you bring up actually as you go through the replays. The early rotation, APG usually, I don't know if you would agree, so strike me as a very slow early game rotational team. They don't leave Military Island that quickly, but this game, I think they saw phase one like, we need to rotate minute 2 of this match, and they did it, which allowed them to get center position pretty much circle 2, and then no one could contest it away. That early rotate literally won them the game from the very word go of this match.
It really did, yeah. I think because they knew how typically the zone shifts over here. If you come up to this east side, very often it lands around that coastal area. And they were like, listen, the early bird catches the worm in this zone in particular. We gotta get there early. And it really did work out because as we were saying, right, they kind of won this game from like phase 2. It was a done deal as soon as they took that hillside. So yeah, the other teams all barely had a chance. And you can see in the points, APG running away with it. A back-to-back chicken dinner means not only are they at the top and above the other teams, but now they're even more above the other teams because that's 24 points that IC don't have and AE don't have. So both those teams have a little bit more work to do now.
I think this entire lobby needs to come to an agreement to not let Top get a P90 because he's just too good with that weapon. He got it twice in a row, and he just dominates everyone with that P90. Like, the guy is crazy with that weapon.
But the man... I'm so happy. I love this so much. APG, comeback of the century. Let's go. This is exactly what they needed, and it's not something any of us expected because APG typically, even when they're having a good season, they do this on the last day. Day number 1, we barely hear anything out of them. So for them to switch it up and flip the story and go, no, we're coming in with a bang, day number 1, to such an extent at the moment that it seems like teams are actually falling in front of them, kind of going, hey, actually, we need to respect this team. We can't be doing the things that we want to do. They're controlling the lobby already, Max.
I can't wait to see all the biased caster allegations in chat because it's so high on this equals. But it's been such a great day from so many different teams here, so of course we're going to get a little bit more to mention. Even harder for these teams to make it. So I would say one bad day.
Gaming's,
Group green.
There we go, and we can just see right there, our 0.5 average elimination so far. We've seen that kind of back and forth play from some really good positions, who spread out, getting picked apart, right? What do you think this team needs to do, change macro-wise in order to, possibly make a run for top 3?
I think they just need to be more decisive, honestly. They set up so well, particularly that Everest in game number 3 comes to mind for me. They had a really good setup early game into the mid game. They were looking really nice. They were splitting for some control, but what ends up is they get too fragmented. I would love to see them take 1 or 2 strong positions, do a 2-2 split if they really want to split for maximum control, but keep it to that. None of these individual splits. We need to see more unity as a team because that's going to bring forward a much stronger appearance to the rest of the lobby.
Yeah. That game you talked about, I'm really happy you bring it up, Nitra. If they just play together, they don't get caught off guard by chips, the solo from pubg, and also lose a solo player to the side of Wolves. I genuinely think that was going to be our first orangutan win, which would have been so hyped to witness. Didn't quite happen. But, it's cool that we have such an obvious thing that needs to be fixed, because I'm sure internally they know it's just a matter of time before that adaptation comes through. But I'm looking at the bottom of the leaderboards now, outside of just orangutan and what they can improve upon. Bottom 5 currently, you have Goat, Team Secret, Jamba, GS, Reject. Reject hurts me, guys. I don't know about you.
That's crazy, yeah.
Seeing them currently in the bottom of the leaderboards is a really, really tough thing. Especially because Sarah joined the team back, Hotchukes, a little bit earlier this year. I was thinking, okay, Sarah's back, the team is back, the team that dominated 2024 back at PMGO, PMWC. And here, we're not seeing anything. And I couldn't even tell you what is the main big core issue for this team right now, because they just don't get to the late game. What is happening for this team? The confidence for me has just completely disappeared, knowing they were just such a threat in global lobbies back in last year.
Yeah, super rough day one. And that's the hardest thing to do, especially at this stage, right, is to bounce back after a rough day so far. And the thing is, they have to do it now, really, because, bottom 5, you are gone, dusted, and out of here. So Team Reject need to step up when it comes to Miramar. We got the next map coming up, Maxman, drop-wise. What are you looking at?
Damn, wait, let me open it. I know on my screen, you got me right now.
Okay. In the gauntlet, so and that's in 4 matches. Very, very impressive stuff. Here's a talk about Chumbacera and the OG APG potential drop there. I think the OG has already lifted off that position and are trying to drop elsewhere now. But we'll see how that does unfold. Very kind playing path to start things off, so straight across the map, really easy, really accessible for everyone to get where they want to go during this game. D Plus already dropping down towards Impala, Reject very close to them. And yeah, Reject being down towards the bottom of the lobby does hurt me as well. I think Sarah getting back into the roster, it's unfortunate seeing him have so much success over on other international squads. And now coming back over towards Reject and trying to rebuild there. We do have a hot drop here, Genji as well as Goat, 2 teams that struggle a little bit. Genji less so than Goat right now.
They are, yeah, Genji up in 7th place, but even there, that's not going to be super comfy. Especially with a 72 pointer on the map in Hacienda. They'll go toe-to-toe, and neither team losing one just yet, but you've got to imagine it's only a matter of time. A lot of SMGs there, playing the close corners. Top floor owned by Goat, and Quick wants to try and hop up. No, not going to be allowed to get up the stairs, just hopping in through the ground floor window. And they're really, really reluctant to go for this. Where's the other player coming on through for Goat? That's what I want to know.
There he is. Off angle right now on the top of the building, playing rooftops. It's a good spot to play as well, looking down these corridors. Both Genji and Go right now, a bit of a stalemate happening. Go want them to come up the stairs, and Genji want them to come down the stairs. A little bit of an idea. But right now for Genji, at least they have the pick of litter when it comes to the loot in the bottom rooms. A Winnie on board with the pump action. Circle over towards that northwest side. Few teams over towards this location. Tiamba getting a good start over towards Crater Fields and the high ground, like around La Cobreria. Montenuevo for Wolves, so they can transition from there. 5th place right now, it's not terrible. But again, you're right, with the 72 points that have been put up by APG, it does make the middle of this leaderboard incredibly odd, where you have 20 points galore, starting from 5th place, dropping all the way down towards 12th with Goat with 16. It's a very minimal margin between all these squads, and everything really does change on a dime. So it's hard to even really say where things are going to end up at the end of the day, or whether it really matters, as opposed coming into day 2, where everyone is so similar in performance. Day 2 is where things start to shift, if APG doesn't stop dominating.
Yeah, that's something that at the moment I wouldn't bet on, but they do have that route up from Chumbacera necessary. This standoff in Hacienda, I mean, this is pretty crazy that more fighting hasn't happened. It's a top floor, upstairs, downstairs kind of fight. I guess nobody wants to be the one to go through those choke points. But then again, you could hop out those windows. You can go further around. It is an interesting one. As we hop over to Chumacero, we'll, I'm sure, see more of that in the elimination feed once they decide to get going. Not that they need to immediately, but it is APG on screen right now. The names on everyone's lips and... Oh, okay, hang on a minute. We've got Genji finally stepping out and immediately take a knock.
Yeah, it's definitely a game of chicken, really, here for Hacienda between Genji as well as Goat. I mean, neither team wants to make the first move, and understandably so. But again, for Genji, for me, it's a case if you have shotguns on board, we saw, I think, at least 2. So you want to push the high ground. Satan finding the off angle and Vic is a really big deal. Right now, what they really need to do is get Dammy back up on his feet. And if they can do that, then they can start to play the refrag game. But this is a little bit of a push upstairs. 2 goes down already. I'm glad for it. You know, Go takes the first move and it was necessary.
They are going to get that res as well on the sidelines. Picking up those elus, picking up those flushes quick. Not going to save his teammate there. Obviously not able to step around down the staircase. And now it's just quick left. A sliver of HP, one shot. Waiting for the others to step through. Has got that double barrel. Does manage to full one through. But that is all he'll find. And it will be Goat cleanly picking up Hacienda. And by clean, I mean none of them have died.
Yeah, again for Genji, as soon as you get that pick off over towards Vic on the outside, that's where you're looking for that res immediately, and then you're pushing the stairs and looking for the refrags by playing the man advantage. It's a confusing one where neither team seem to have all that much confidence, and then Go is pressured by desperation.
That is unfortunate. Unfortunate set of events there. GS have taken a knock as well. Luke's looking to maybe send a cross for this one. They've already got the sight line on the cross, as you can see, held down by Neil Zada. There's a vehicle, careens past him. He turns around, not phased at all. Jafar should be going down here. Everybody moving in now towards the middle zones as Crater Fields all the harder. A little replay on the pop-up of that fight between Goat and Genji. As they're able to find some points off the back of that. Genji, not so lucky. With GS being right in the middle as well.
Oh! I have the sneezes right now. Yeah,
God, in a big way.
the allergies are coming through thick and fast. And all my windows are closed, so I don't know. I'm allergic to be inside.
Yeah, I don't know. You take a bit of school, get yourself nose blown, because the moment, I mean, you can sit down, you can get on the bench with Genji, right? Because they're already out. They're not they're not going to be playing the rest of this match. Half of their Miramars today are a wash. Alter Ego moving in from this northeast side. Alter Ego with 9Z, actually, not too far away. Rosemary jetting out there near Cruz de Valle. The 2 teams in the northeast side, very isolated from everyone else. Not impossible that D+ send up the east side all the way to meet them, but they'll have a long way to go to do so. And you hope that they can get on. OG right now, after going down first, or well, in 16th place in the last match, hoping to keep things together a little bit more. And Seven obviously was saying they need to pick up the elims and see if they can actually keep that pressure going, because they've had some good spots, but 6th place, I mean, it's good, but they definitely, it feels like they could be a little bit higher up, maybe neck and neck with Alter Ego. Oh, he's still going.
No, that was the last one. I swear that was the last one. I promise. That was the last one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you probably should. It's very, very likely another sneeze is coming, just like another chicken dinner from APG is on the way. OG though, looking to face off versus IC. Or just dip. See what they want to do with it. Second circle shift though, Joe.
Up towards that north side. Jamba. Get a big split across it as well. Those hills in the middle for GS. Those really, really towering mounds that sit there. Looks like they've got most of it under control. Jamba looking to regroup towards the middle. And they may be able to do so fairly uncontested for now. Alter Ego, not slow, but they aren't there in time to catch that Tiamba regroup. Papa Supermassive further on their southeast side. OG now caught in a little bit of a muddle between them, Reject. You've got Inner Circle as well. Potential for loops to get involved from up front. You could get real mucky as APG sit behind all of it. And if their last games are anything to go by, that is a very dangerous place to sit between APG and a good game.
Exactly, you are the wall in the path, and right now APG is kind of, they've just been smashing boundaries all over the place. A lot of high ground in this next circle though, Jump. With GS currently holding over towards Credit Fields on that side. You have water treatment, which most teams are avoiding like the plague right now. No one really wants to be playing on that low ground unless it's necessary. I like where Ultra Ego's looking to end up though. This high ground on the northeast, that's where they're passing through the roads on the north side, and they're looking to head down towards the south. Fair few compounds will play in that area should it come there, but most teams just looking for position right now.
Rightly so. The south side, though, much busier. On this edge, you can see the number of teams close by. APG circling around OG. And it looks like they're not quite going to find anything. Atanki maybe moving up for a shot here. Looking for Doc. Knows the buggy's coming around, but Doc might have a shot of his own. Reject could have angle. No, not quite. It's just rolling around that hilltop. They do want to find something here. They are in the zone on this south edge. APG hold that mound, but sits in the middle of it all. That south control seems fairly firm right now for APG.
Yeah, they are slightly pincered though between them and Loops. I think Loops is probably the biggest target to get rid of at the moment. OG being down the hill on the roadside, they're not likely to get too involved in many of these fights over towards the southeast, so APG, they're more concerned with the likes of Icy as well as Loops playing off towards the western side of Hacienda. I think this is where APG needs to sort of slow the game down a little bit.
And they don't need to pop off just yet. They might want to, though. Keep up that record. They have excelled themselves. Next circle fairly soon. As Reject mounting up some nades. It's Papa Supermassive who are causing them trouble. You can see Reject are split across their road. Follow. I think he's going to really struggle to get back into this one. With that one squeegee. They want to take shots out this way too. I mean, the circle moves out, and this next hilltop, it only makes sense. It's the next stage for them, and APG are lining up to take shots out of Reject. They still have Apollo, I believe, on the south side.
No!
Don't worry about no. He is going to look to try and cross. And APG just keep going. They don't stop. He's still got more.
Doc, no! It's fine. No!
Oh, no.
Oh, it's happening. They got too big for their boots. They're winning too much. The docketing, it's returned.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, that's a frustrating. I think they had a fine position where they were. Top was popping off with a mini 40 as he usually does. It's an extremely aggressive rotate coming through from Doc there.
And it didn't pay out as well, which is the kicker, right? If it pays off, it's brilliant. But it seems like all too often it doesn't. At the moment, though, APG still have a solid spot. They might not have as good of inroads as they might have liked towards that northeast side without Doc's presence there. The inner circle sit behind them and will give them the challenge. Falcons moving up to the top of the perch here. I mean, they're not in the zone, but they might get some shots over towards inner circle. Redox not going to take them just yet.
Yeah, this is sort of a position they want to take to try and clear our area. I think most teams know that over towards the eastern side of this ridge, it is so difficult to pass through without getting shot to bits as you pass down. APG is going to take a little bit of a wrap around here towards Papa Supermassive, trying to get ahead of the issue, which is quite smart after initially finding that knock.
Ooh, no. Oh dear, a second player down, and maybe we are witnessing something marvelous, something miraculous. The lobby is defeating APG. Yolo with a challenge to Apollo, but he's good for one. Reapers now has to try and find him, but Apollo holds on a 1v2, and APG fall. Blank. The Giants have been slain. They flew too close to the sun, and Apollo burned them alive.
I mean, it all starts with the docketing, and it's frustrating to look at, to say the least. did not need to make that play. It kind of throws everything else into disarray around APG. They've already done good so far. With the amount of points they've been able to put up today, I think he could be afforded a little bit of a bad game at this point, let's be quite frank about it. But still, it's one of those situations where we're going back to bad habits.
Circle breaks out to the east side, and I mean, it's not particular. I mean, it's pretty good for D+, I think. They might actually be able to survive for quite a while in this position on the east. It's going to be very difficult for teams to make their way across there, right? There's not too many avenues of approach. Maybe 9Z could challenge on that eastern side. I don't think it's a winning position, but I think it's a solid one for D+. I think APG are gone, right? They are not alive. Okay, fair enough. The Falcons, they are looking to try and crash down. Ralph is already there. Now Valor leaving out the window, Redox as well. There's obviously no lead to hold, but they are split. Like, they just don't have as much power as they like. Rosemary, though, is able to do one, and the second as well is good for Alva. Snake chiming in. The Falcons can't fly on through, and they are down as well.
Yeah, Falcons struggling there. GS looking to move on over. The D+ is very much a bit of a survival location for them right now, hiding out over on the east. There's not a lot of sidelines that they can take from that position, so they're hoping to hit everyone pretty hard with a 4-man squad towards the end game. Definitely want to see more action out of D+ though, because I think as a full 4-man squad, they have been a little bit lacking in that regard.
Ultrigo trying to keep GS penned in. Ultrigo, one of the few teams actually who is not in that sort of 20-point boundary sort of area. They are up in 4th place on 30 points. They're wanting to chase towards IC and 9Z up on 44 and 41 respectively. So let's see what they can do here. In the meantime, though, Inner Circle are moving up over to the hilltop on the western, southwestern side. Loops going to evacuate it, and OG might be trying to push towards it as well. With Tiamba overlooking, this push could be dangerous, but they're sending their forward scout in. OG want a piece of this.
I mean, they found an initial knockout towards Tiamba. Tiamba's a pretty soft target right now, currently in 15th place, not had the most amazing performance so far. IQ's really wondering whether this fight's worth it for them. Sadly for IQ, does get ripped to pieces on the high ground. Valor could get taken out by Nico. And WizGod is able to steal away at least one of those elims.
Well, he hasn't confirmed it just yet. That might be taken down. T24, the only survivor from Inner Circle as they descend the hilltop. A bit of a mad dash. There are lots of teams around them. They try to carry forwards. They squirt out the side, and now the fight is between Loops and OG across these ridge lines, not in the valley in between. So they'll have to try and find their way on through, move closer to this next zone. That's what they're going to be looking for.
Ultrigo playing pretty slow right now. They do have to deal with GS, who is on their western side now. 3 players currently. Rosemary, as well as Alva, holding that angle off. OG right in front of Loops, and pretty sure Loops have a good idea of where they're playing. This lineup across the ridge, though, does give them a lot of playing power from this spot.
Yeah. Really going to try and feel the power as well. Add to their points tallies as best they can. Team Secret on the southeast side, needing to move in. Ultrigo still on their split blank, still Guardians to the approach. Ooh, Loops making their approach so over towards OG. One of them down, one of them very, very low there as well. Nades from Aru. He needs to up that elimination game. We've talked about it before, during the breaks between these matches, and now's the time to do it. But getting knocked as well. Aru needs to find it, and he does. The spray down's good over towards Loops. It's traded off, but it keeps them in it for just a moment longer. One of them be flushed away. AKOP going for that heal. WizGod cooking a nade. Raptor boy, and it's oh my god! explosion. Wiscon opens the cannons. It's a 1v1 now, but it's Loops to close it down. It felt like a miracle nade, but it was not to be. Everybody circles, so the vultures approach. It's Tiamba moving in. It's Papara Supermassive as well. These reses could not come quick enough, and Loops are into a 1v4v4.
Oh my days. Papara Supermassive desperately wanted that one as well. It gets 7 elims, so they profited a little bit off the back of it. Tiamba got zeros, they showed none of them off the back of that. I think the flush came onto the singular player, and then that subsequently removed the rest of the players from the game before those nades hit. Smart decision.
Well done. We're not quite on. Rosemary was. 2 players from GS, like Alterico have been keeping these guys locked up for a long while now. That's got to feel pretty appalling, really, especially on that high ground. Alterico do have approaches to this next zone as well. Now being scouted out by teams, Wolves on the northeast side, with E+ on the challenge. They've been quite cut off from the rest of it, but Nolbu still has his wits about him. Wolves not quite able to find it. Gets another one. Nolbu nearly gets the third as well. Doran's so low. But now Fabian has to step up for the oversight. Coops on the backline. The rest of the team moving in. Osal has the angle maybe as well, but Doran is backed off. Coops can't quite find it. In goes Chips. D+ do not want to let this one go. They need to keep Nolbu alive, and Chips wants to fight. He steps up, but can't quite get the spray. Not the first one. Doran backs off again.
That's good info now, though. And a nade should do the trick. Lobs it down. Will take down Doran. Now just keeps left alive off in the distance. Immediately to pick up Nolbu. And Nolbu does such a good job there for D+. He was the big difference maker on the squad over in those finals. Fabian comes in around the side. Coops tries to find a little bit of something whilst D+ attempts to reset on this fight. But it's not meant to be as D+ is able to stay alive. If they can run Nolbu into the circle, the real saving private Nolbu situation. For Alter Ego, though, they're currently chasing the 3rd place right now, and 3rd place is currently knocked out of the running. We're getting close to that end game to see if Alter Ego can lock things down here. It is not the most difficult of final circles as well in terms of teams. Alright, I mean, Papara Supermassive still up, Icy, but we've only one player. But Alter Ego, I think that they can have a good chance here at this game.
The thing that they suffered from, though, previously, Blank, obviously we saw in that Erangel match, they take these peaks and they keep on the angles a little bit longer than they probably should do. And that has been their kryptonite in today's matches so far. Maybe they'll find some discipline moving forward, so they have moved down that hill. But when the rear guard moves in as well, they'll lose sight lines over towards Go. And that might allow Go to flex out, maybe take control towards them. Not to mention, this crash is going to be dangerous, and already some damage is tacked on, more than that too. It's going to be a hard move now. D+ trying to reposition out wide again against the last player from
Should be able to rip him back up, go now make a deal with the player from GS Icon. Swinging around the side, flying through the air with a shotgun in hand, but a snap straight back over towards them.
Immediately. Ooh, Alpha goes down as well. That is traded off. Yeah, Rosemary falls. This is a straight up bloodbath on the northern side. Goat taking the shots. This just sent down the hill. It's just not working out. Alter Ego lose 2. They could not get Rosemary and Alpha back into the fight, so it's all up to Snape and Krypton. It's not looking quite as good as it once did, Blank. That regroup. Really suffered.
It's the regroup. It's the regroup is just not good enough. I mean, you're coming into stage 6 and you're still playing this 2-2 split here. It's what it is it isn't actually. It's not that the players are silly or dumb and they don't know to do this. It's just greedy play. All the players here are all phenomenal at PUBG Mobile. That is just greed. It's 100% greed. And Alter Ego could have way more points on their hands. And it's such a promising Indonesian team. I don't think you should be being greedy at this stage of the tournament format here in PUBG Mobile right at the end of the year. They need to learn to fall back on one another and soon.
D+ have complete oversight of what's going on here. They're waiting for him to step out. I think it might be a point denial for T24. Don't know if he got that one started in time. Go out heal. Oh, he does. He's got 3 more. And he's going to have to run quite far. He has to set out now and just go for a mad sprint. But D+, they're not going to be forced off their angle. Yeah, this is going to be point denial. Just try and stay alive as long as possible.
Try and get as far into this game as they can. I mean, for D+ right now, you know what the play is? The play is just to swing behind this ridge on the south side and attempt to deal with Tiamba as well as Papara Supermassive. But you just have to be confident in taking these engagements now. I mean, they could try and swing just underneath the ridge on the east here, take shots down towards Papara Supermassive as they make this crossing. But they've got to be quick because Papara Supermassive is already looking to take that position away from Bradley. We get
Ticking up with the stims, but the blue zone is pushing, and I don't think he's leaving this shack.
I don't know how he's dodging all these, but fair enough. Vicar on the side should be an easy cleanup for GOAT there. And a much needed win for GOAT as well, being down towards the bottom side.
Not enough.
Rotates transition to one side, but also the lap.
Place in the final blow. Compact.
Wrap up for the win and get the chicken dip.
We've seen so far, but then we saw Luke go versus OG Max. And as soon as that fight started ringing out, 2 different teams came to third party out real quick with Tiamba and Papara Supermassive.
Actually having
And it doesn't give
eliminations. I know 3. We were kind of talking to each other, being like, hey, who's going to end up top 3 here? And I think with how we saw the gauntlet go down, we were like, I'm not sure. We saw teams do things differently, right? What do you think, you really...
also a really safe position that even if he does slightly overpeak and gets punished for it, gets...
Oh, absolutely, and I think especially with GOAT in the past being an aggressive team, that if they feel like not been able to get those early fights or even just those mid-game fights, they've been going out too early for them to really do anything, it would probably help their mentality a lot just to force the fight, force the issue, because they know they can win and they go, actually, we can do this. Let's just do it, get it out of the way, and start building from there.
I find it funny looking at the leaderboards, by the way, how APG had such a big point lead. They're like, oh, we're gonna have one bad game, it's fine, still first place, still a massive point lead. Like 25 plus points from APG, that was just such a good day from the team. They're in a circle and looking, sure they're going to have a win, right? And you've got 13 placement points, Top Troops, that's... A little bit, because otherwise, outside of that one win, the placement points, they're not coming in. You need to see more consistency from the lads if you want to make sure.
Much more to play for.
Things going. I mean, they're definitely still in the running in a big way to jump up towards the top side. Reject. We saw their player go down during that interview. They lost 1 against Gen G on the hill to the east side of Los Leones there. And they will try and salvage that one, but they're still very close to one another. Team Secret, they're moving in to the east of La Bonita, just west of Impala as well, up towards the stunt jump across the chasm. We'll see how safe that will keep them there. Wolves as well moving in on that northwestern side. There are quite a few teams who are still out and about. You've got GS, you've got Falcons, 9Z, Alter Ego as well. Well, there's 2 of them left, but they are still up towards that north side, yet to make their entrance. But there's this huge glob of teams north of Los Leones that are crammed in.
And with the circle not being too far down towards the south, it makes sense as well why most teams are unwilling to set foot over towards Los Leones and get trapped within that cage of urban scenery. He's got a bit of a life of its own there. Basketballs itself back into position. Good shot from Chips. Honestly, this guy, in terms of long range and accuracy, has been pretty astonishing, to say the least. Nice to see Tiamba losing one off on the sidelines there. Deepus continues to try and marshal this eastern side of the map, which makes a lot of sense considering Deepus know that they're likely going to have to shift over towards that northwest side at some point, manage around Labandita. From the OGs playing around there. We're waiting for Zone 2 essentially to figure out where this one's going. Because where the circle sits right now, it really does require that Zone 2. And in other circles, you know, there's very particular positions. I mean, if we went over towards Craig Fields and we had this kind of circle there centered up, there's a lot of high ground you can take. Here it's very indecisive, so you just cramming yourself towards the center-ish doesn't really matter where you're playing as long as it's safe. And very central, so you can make this kind of rotation now where we're going out into very open ground. Some teams might want to favor down towards that south side on some high ground. Some teams might gamble on the north side.
They'll try and find something on that north edge, but it's not going to be the easiest when teams start to get close to one another. Tiamba actually sending into the water already. They are diverted from DK and they are not going to try and move past and around it. Ooh, APG. Okay, they're back to play. They lost down the first Miramar. They want to make up for lost time. They'll find Apollo. I think wasn't it Apollo that they crashed into in the last game and he 2v1'd them? That's a little bit of a revenge from that Shack. We'll be able to take him down. Flush very quickly from Joel. And they're not even going to waste any time picking through the remains. They're all sent on in a little bit closer.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that, right? Joel flicking into the second seat and instantaneously flushing, but then also almost immediately back in the driver's seat. That was very quick.
Yeah, swing of it.
Yeah, style points there accrued for him. Yeah, Reject definitely losing a lot out here. Let's see, there was definitely a little bit of the rising sun over the past years for Reject and Japan, but back to their old antics again and sort of being on the bottom of the leaderboards, which is sad to see. A lot of their players got loaned out internationally, and it's been here and there. But Reject has always been a constant force here in internationals, so there is consistency from a singular org anyway.
Yeah, they're always willing to welcome them back. Which is beautiful to see. You've got to love it, you've got to support it, I think. With the circle as it sits though, they aren't going to be having too good of a shout into this one on their record. APG making the dash in towards the middle here. They stop off in the garage there. A couple of repairs may be necessary. As Team Secret weren't able to isolate this one. Actually, Team Secret has split 2 and 2 around this APG position now.
And how are they going to really solve this? I mean, APG have a very central spot to play around. Very much designed for Stage 3, Stage 4 in terms of those rotations, but you're going to be very vigilant when holding on to this location, maintaining good outlook, scouting. Definitely up towards that north side, because that's where most of their vision is. For OG, on the other hand, it's back to basics for them, taking this 2-2 split we've seen them take before. Again, that is the gamble play from the position they were in, sort of makes sense, but with it moving down here, life gets very tough for many different teams because you have a little bit of Los Leones cut in down towards the southwest side. You've got all this field, which you really don't want to be playing anyway on the northeast. You've got the rocky outcrops on the southeast. This is a very difficult circle to play with kind of minimal strong spots in it.
Yeah, it is very open, very barren. We'll see who's going to be able to claim the minimal areas available. Luke's taking a bit of a hit there on the sidelines. Falcons, they are already down to... Oh, they can have all 4 of their players alive. That might change. He connects on the spray, but he can't quite do it. The first is good, and there's the step up, there's the backup coming through for Lutz. But their players are falling as well. Ralph now needed to keep things under control for the Falcons to keep them going. They do have another player on off angle, but it's nowhere near enough to go for these pickups. Instead, it is up to Ralph to be vigilant over his teammates. The blue zone is here. It's stage 3, so it's survivable. But for how much longer? A big nade, and he finds it. That's exactly what he needed. Ralph clocks him.
Yeah, from a team, that sucks, man. The nade bounce on that one, you can see him trying to dodge it, but it bounces to the side, down the hill. Well played from Rafina, able to get that shot over towards Falcon's Ralph as he tried to make the push out, which was sort of the obvious move that Ralph was going to go for, but again, to take that time to go for that, where it's just one player you're dealing with as sort of the backup plan, you know, the emergency maneuver, you know, all aspects of that fight were thought out there by Loops, which is great.
GS in the longhouse, the nades flowing through. The D+. Wanted to try and keep this one going. They are 3, but they've got 4 players alive total. There's only 3 in this location though. GS wanted to counter push here. They're moving up close, but a nice bounce around the corner. Comes in from Nolbu. Down from the dumpster, rises from the dirt, and able to step up. That's go time, but maybe they're a little bit overzealous. And GS are going to be able to hold on the inside. They do have more players, but Osel's still on the swivel. He wants a little bit more. It's trading back and forth, and this is way muckier than you thought it might be. Given an initial double knock with an nade, it's a 1v1. Fabian and D3S, and Alterigo are jumping in.
Where is Chips though? Why is Chips all the way on the east there? Or why did the rest of D Plus engage without him? Alterigo looking to clean house though on the long house, and again Alterigo kind of surprised why Chips is taking shots from at that distance. Like, is that 4th team in this area? What's going on here?
pubg have angles on it too. Top through the garage. Gonna take some sightlines out that way. Very happy with this north point. Circle goes south, so this compound, this longhouse, really wasn't worth it in the long run. But neither of these 2 teams are going to be happy with it. Team Secret wish they regrouped south earlier as well. They might still be as 4. But on the south edge, they're pretty happy. In the meantime, Krypton, they are lining down the shots with that DDS down the corridor, and they're trapped in this fight too, Blake. There are still representatives coming through from all 3 of these teams.
Yeah, this is a confusing fight, to say the least. Nade just swings wide of the window there, will bounce back out again, but it's fully smoked up. Not a lot of angles inwards. Top continues to send a couple of shots down range with number 14. Fair enough, he's got 216 shots in the back pocket. Find any shots where you can. Definitely making it uncomfortable right now for GS. In comes Tiamba, the 5th team to join the fray. Good name out to ESO on the bottom of the stairs. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's not good there as he gets up the stairs finally. It's all up to Jafar that knows he's spotted as well. Alterigo pick up the points. Alvaro and Krypton locked in by, as you say, Tiamba. This extra team still joining this fight from that northeast side. Wolves taking the sprays all the way on the west side now. They take the sprays onto Lutz's approach. Wolves seem to keep getting into these positions of seeming strength and just not quite able to convert time and time again. They've suffered. Maybe they can do something with this west side position this time.
Tiamba moves in, Albert. First to face here versus Spawn. QCC on the outside. Good initial shot there. No push yet, so down to just Krypton in the 1v2. These smokes are still massively obscuring the entire APG dealing with Team Secret in the meantime, but make it entirely for Bond too, so that's going to be very good. Krypton on half HP. This is a hard fight for him to win now.
EDF, when you try and win those trades, actually managed to get around that door frame. I thought that might go a little bit worse for him. Has got 4 first aids, so can heal up a bit more effectively. And Nate's starting to run bear as well for Tiamba, but it's not going to matter because that one connects. And Alterigo goes down. They are up in 3rd place, but can IZ take that spot back from them?
Yeah, it's great that... So So APG playing Longhouse. Okay.
Keeping things going. I mean, this is where APG wanted to be. After that Arsenal, they really didn't need to try to keep together 5 elims found, and they are already looking to try and chase down that top spot. Victory might be out of the question. That would be, what was it, a 5-point game total? I mean, it's 15 elim chick together, it's like 5 minutes early, but I don't think APG can make this one happen.
I don't know. 15 elims is not out of the world, to be honest. Yeah, biggest out of the question. They've already found 5.
They already, what was it that Kara were able to get in a single day? They're already right neck and neck with them, right? It's very, very close. See if they can break that record. So we'll see just how far they can go.
Now, as a foreman from the east side, I think it is certainly a possible game to play out and get a strong result off the back of this. There's a fair few more teams that they can try and pull away. Again, I think statistically, yeah, it's a very difficult thing to pull off the 100 points here, but just looking at this game, from the position they're in, with the amount of players they have, with the loot that they seem to have garnered, there's a good chance.
Certainly is. A pretty well. There's a chance, right? There is a chance, but there's plenty of teams still getting their way. Just massive, going for a wide flank out. Trying to make their way forward. They've been open ground for a while now. This approach is just going to be so peppered with danger. APG taking shots, OG taking shots as well. From that position, and there goes Tromby. Down with the headshot. He's found and will be knocked out in the open. I don't think Vapor Supermassive are going too much further here. They have got 2 players all the way up on the north side, so maybe they can crash in somewhere, but I think it's OG or nothing, really. Go for that crash, and it seems like that's what they'll do.
Looking forward, they've got shots coming out from the sidelines there from Kamikaze. Nico goes down though, lost on the sidelines, has to pull out something massive here. AKOP can't make it happen, and OG will fall versus the push from Vapor Supermassive.
A brilliant approach, a necessary approach and a brilliant conclusion for Vapor Supermassive. They, by rights, should probably have all gone down there, but OG just quite couldn't get them on the approach in the way that they needed to. And that's going to allow 2 players from Vapor Supermassive to survive. The third player is all the way out in the open. We saw Tromby get knocked earlier, and it's so unlikely that he is able to crawl all the way across. The knocks still come on in thick and fast as well. Jamba, maybe he could have crashed that same spot. We'll see if they end up getting there.
Please, Doc. It's not necessary. It really isn't necessary. They will pick up the point from the play zone there for the knock they got earlier versus Vapor Supermassive, which is pretty cool as well. Very small angle to grab there from Reefers, but the team shot onto the vehicle to get him to slowly step back into Reefers' sideline. It's quite nice.
Zed taking shots out towards Vapor Supermassive. Trying to get rid of him, trying to assuage the threat, or well, not really that much of a threat on that north side. Moving in for the next circle. Let's see where it goes. Is it going to go down to the south, or are we going to get pushed up towards Vapor Supermassive? It's kind of dead center here. And the buildings that Reject sit on going to be probably the main target for Gen G. Either that or play the hilltops that sit to the east of them.
Yeah, I mean, where Reject's currently playing is a little bit on low ground there, and I think you could probably wrap around the backside, but you're right, for Gen G, it's like, that's a good springboard of an area to play from for them. Wolves also getting a little bit further into the late game here. I just find that spot a little bit awkward for Reject, where it's not the greatest of sightlines to play from. Some of these high grounds that currently Wolves have are nice if they were remaining in the circle, that is.
Love it, right? If he still have those high grounds, but get clocked like that, Batten gonna need a rescue mission sent out his way. 9Z might even have the angle to go for the flush. Coops on a rescue mission now. And Eagle also going to have to start to move in for them, as 9Z likely to be pushing up this way too. Either that or into inner circle.
Yeah, Inner Circle looking to try and get some more points at the end of the day here. They can get 60 points. They're looking really clean to get in towards that top 3 and confirm their position towards the finals. Gamba looking to move forward here versus half the Supermassive. Nico just spraying forward there. We'll find him. QCC off in the distance, but it is 9Z who do rock up to the party, looking to clear out as many teams as possible on this north side. Similar ideas right now to APG. One will fall on the backline for 9Z. No ideal.
One more player for Lost to deal with EDS turns the corner. First tag is on. There's the off-angle shot solo, and it's actually inner circle to take out Papa Supermassive to close out their day and day from 9Z. Seals the deal on that. Shack out in the open. The hay bales provided no cover in the end for anyone who stepped up to them. Now we're down to 8 teams remaining. The placement points are here. Let's see how far we can go from the top of those rocks. Wolves still dominate the high ground, but Reyes able to strike from below.
Yeah, lovely shot from Reyes there. I'm sure keep him safe for a little bit while longer. Again, really just need to hold up the next 50 seconds because in all likelihood this moves away from Inner Circle and Wolves, and both those teams need to descend from that high ground that has been causing a lot of these fights to fester, where teams can't really fight one another because of these off angles, these high ground positions that are still remaining in the lobby, which is why it has been a little bit slow here for a lot of teams. A lot of teams looking just to stay hidden under the cover of ridge sides. Igor has to move out though, but again, Doran really clean on this one. Unfortunately for Igor's, it will be Regiosio to find that angle, and Doran goes down too. This always had to happen at some point. I was concerned of when it was going to happen. They tried to jump the gun here, which I respect personally. You don't really want to be going for it as the circle shifts away from you, because then so many teams are going to be looking at that spot.
In. Comes through. It's not really favouring anyone. I mean, maybe Coates' position on the roadside, but it's kind of nasty out here. It's a very difficult approach. Wolves actually managing to get the res out onto Doran. Stiegel, who remains down in the doldrums. But the Wolves are still taking shots. Coops loves to stay up on these high grounds as long as possible. It's what he lives and breathes for. Seemingly, and he is able to get some value out of it this time. Well on the Sims, drop it down to the lower rock run. Had to heal up a little bit before because PG had his number.
Yeah, APG is just going to remain on this north side. I think what they're trying to do is cut off 9Z as they approach the circle, because they have to come over this ridge side just a little bit. Circle just pushes them out of position there. And then APG can start to worry about pushing down towards the south, but this is their main problem. The team that's in their path is 9Z, but looks like they're actually just going to give it up here and look to try and take pole position down towards the southeast side.
Ooh, that was nasty. Divine wanted to run out. He decided against it. Oh, God, Regios has to back off that, and actually takes a lot of damage off himself. Claws up into the window, Molotov there, going to slow his approach down, the nade bubbles out, does do damage, but not much more than that. Gen G looking to close this down, unlikely for a third party, given that this is outside the next zone. Damn, he moves up. He's already low as well. Raging, drop in a smoke, by that window, drop in the Molotov, drop in the fire, as he hops out the window, trying to give him the slip, trying to give him a run around, trying to challenge Jafar from the gauntlet stage. We'll see if he can do it, but he's already taking damage, trying to run off down the ridge line, and I think that's going to be the give up sign for him. Will get sprayed down, and it's reject out. They are eliminated, and we'll be locking in 15th place at the end of the day. The question is, how far can APG go here?
Well, you get another IC though, look over towards 9Z. Like I said, they had to crest this ridge side, and eventually it's going to become problematic. I think at this point in time, I think you could probably say that, yeah, for APG, it's getting very difficult now to get the 100 points. The amount of eliminations left in the lobby is certainly dwindling away, but a good initial start here versus IC is good.
I mean, they have 9 elims, blank, they need 15, which means they need 6 more than they've got right now. They are available, right? But it all relies on them taking the fights rather than the other two teams. You've got to think that Gen G want to get stuck into this to allow themselves to move further south. T24 going to be the main face against them right now, keeping them penned into their shack, but if APG can take these shots as well, they might be able to get the flushes too. We'll see if they're able to close this game down. At the moment, they do have one of the better approaches to the circle, I think.
I mean, I've said it before, just letting you know.
It's not happening, surely not.
I mean, it's also got a strong position here. APG, the big difficulty is when it starts to move away from them. They really need to get a lot of value out of stage 8 right now before we hit stage 9. They can't really be going into it with these two teams being a full force. That's where it gets really tough for them. I don't think they have a massive amount of utility to work with here. They do have both sides of the road, which is good, which is something that can't be said for IC.
Definitely not in a circle. Do not have an outpost there. Gen G do, but the road crossing is still going to be very, very difficult. They are going to go for it. Oh, sorry, hang on a minute. Yeah, they have just fully gone for it. They're already on the other side. Top is preoccupied with getting these elims on the north side. There's already a knock sent over towards in a circle. Desperately looking for that res as the next zone will start to close fairly soon. Stage 8 will touch, and then we'll go dead center. And because Gen G have moved, exactly where they are is the middle of the circle blank on their road side. They have managed to find this ridge, and APG have let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're a little preoccupied with IC there, to be honest with you. And it all comes down to this. This is going to be a messy endgame here now for all the teams involved. And I do think it is quite hard for APG. I think Gen G makes a pretty astute decision for this one. APG is the enemy of two significant teams here. Doc makes the run out. There will be some shots going backwards, but not before Doc is taken down. He attempted to get up towards the loot crate, which was the smart choice.
Tries to use that as cover, but Top now is knocked as well as IQ starting to put the perk down on them. Yols, the next to Gen G, are taking their turn at the top dogs, and they're looking for more as well. Adding these points in, I think at this stage, it's very unlikely they'll make it a century. They might still find the chicken dinner if they're lucky. We'll see what they can do on a third party, because that's the angle they were looking for. Doc able to find one. I like that goes down as well. The Ruthless falls next. And Doc's still going with the blue zone in his back. He's still on his belt buckle, taking those shots. He wants this blood spill.
I mean, IC may have ruined the day, but I think APG might have just ruined theirs here. All things said, though, 9 elims, we want to see a good inner circle game towards the end here, and we have certainly got it. IQ goes down as Gen G continues to march forwards towards them.
Inner circle. They've had a pretty decent result over today. Some missteps maybe in the middle, but they want to claim that second place spot and make it a little bit more theirs. Unfortunately, Gen G have something to say, but look at that. Noki able to find one. Satan traded on towards Forge, not quite able to connect on the spray downs, but finally it's into a 1 versus 2, and they will start to step up around the rock. Gen G, don't let it slip away. And it's inner circle to crumble in the face of them. Gen G rising to the top.
Yeah, good stuff there from Gen G. I was a little bit concerned about those sprays at the end there coming through. It didn't look... I don't know how to put it, but either way, it is a good win for Gen G. They'll be happy with that. I think that rotation off towards the east side was smart and regrouping as the 4-man. APG almost had the chance, but they certainly broke the day record at least, which is something to celebrate here for that team.
Absolutely. It's a lovely result. Pretty elated stuff there coming through from Gen G. They are certainly going to breathe a sigh of relief, right? 2 more days to play. We'll see how much further they can go. They're being ushered in for the winning shot, making sure that they have got their necessary media presence felt by our cameras, of course. Got to line up. We've got to make themselves look pretty. Get gussied up, as they will huddle in. A really interesting close down, I think, on that day, on that game. APG, it felt like they allowed Gen G to get in, but Gen G definitely took a good decision. And they made the most of it. A brilliant result. Let's head over to the analyst desk to break down the game and the day. I think, on the elated step up around the rock. They've had a pretty decent result over today. Some missteps maybe in the middle, but they want to claim that second place spot and make it a little bit more theirs. Unfortunately, Gen G have something to say, but look at that. Rocky able to find one. Satan traded on towards Ford, not quite able to connect from the spray down, but finally it's into a 1 versus 2, and they will start to step up around the rock. Gen G, don't let it slip away. And it's in a circle to crumble in the face of them. Gen G rising to the top.
Yeah, good stuff there from Gen G. I was a little bit concerned about those sprays at the end there coming through. It didn't look... I don't know how to put it, but either way, it is a good win for Gen G. They'll be happy with that. I think that rotation off towards the east side was smart and regrouping as the 4-man. APG almost had the chance, but they certainly broke the day record at least, which is something to celebrate here for that team.
Absolutely. It's a lovely media. Close down. The analyst.
Teams that we're playing this ridge is such a difficult valley to play, and
Need to back up. And I think Dominic in the lay down. He's just game. No.
I see right below the
Crazy rotation plays.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Look at these shifts here, Max.
I love seeing that though, because it's like, listen, they've had a pretty good day so far today. They were able, even though, you know, they lose half their players early, frag out like that and go, two people who just run through multiple teams is great fun to see. The match rankings, Gen G with 20 points. I wonder where that's going to put them in the over.
No, really hard. Gen G Claws ends up the PMGC Grand Finals with 90 points in a single day.
The APG prank, it's over. The chapter is closed now. First option hit point is
Lit to group green.
I mean, that's fair.
Now, don't forget, tomorrow...
Again,